And other people are like me, have multiple decks. And I just find them fun because they inspire me because of the artwork. They inspire me with the words. They give me just that clarity that I need, or that affirmation, like, yes, you were on the right path. That tower card or that boundary card showed you that person broke their word with you or broke a boundary and you don't know it yet, but I'm a card and I'm here to show you that the boundaries have been broken.
Hello and welcome to It's a Journey podcast. How are you healing today? Your host, Therese Nadeau, welcomes guests from different parts of the globe with professional expertise in health and holistic wellness. Holistic means physical, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. So what do all of our guests have in common? It's their dedication to help us with our healing journey and personal development. Let's dive into this new episode with our special guest and explore the answers in order to continue our personal journey's exploration towards healing and self-love.
Therese is the Certified Reiki Master Teacher, Soul Coaching Oracle Cards Reading Master Teacher, Past Life Regression Healer, and student of Human Design, Shamanism, and many other modalities. She is a digital course creator and the founder of the Moon Oracle Card Reading Academy. With over a decade of spirit channeling, intuitive healing, and real-life business experience, Therese has been referred to as a powerful healer for her ability to remove the energy blocks and a straight shooter for clear and loving communication skills, breaking down illusions and illuminating the truth. As a leader, Therese guides women to align their powerful gift to generate love, health, and wealth. A strong passion for creating a world where healers and spiritual leaders prosper is matched only by a love affair with chocolate. She is dedicated to changing the belief system of giving away your God-given talents to receiving the abundance that is already yours. In this 7th episode, I will be talking to Therese about Oracle cards. Our topic today is developing your intuition with Oracle cards. Hi Therese, it's such a pleasure to have you today on It's a Journey podcast. I'm really excited to have a conversation with you, and yes, I'm happy about this exchange.
Yay! Thank you, Stephanie, so much for having me on your podcast. I'm really honored to be here.
So we're gonna get started with, please, first you introduce yourself, and then we're gonna talk about Oracle cards.
All right, sure. Yeah, I'm Therese Nadeau. I'm a psychic intuitive coach, healer. I work with business owners and entrepreneurs that are ready to really tap in and hone in on their intuitive skills to create more income and more impact in their businesses. And I do that from a big toolbox of spirituality tools that I pull out, everything from past life regression to future life creation. And everywhere in between. It's kind of fun, actually. And yeah.
And Therese, can you tell me how you became like psychic intuitive healer and coach? Can you tell me about your journey?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I hate to start with when I was a child, I was born, but it's true. As children, we are born with all these gifts, right? And it's true that many of us turn them off because of circumstances. And in my case, my third eye, which is the chakra, second chakra between the eyeballs, basically in the forehead, and all chakras go right through the body, right? And so when I was about 5 or 6, it blew wide open. But what had happened was I was around some addictions. And I had my first real vision beyond the veil. And it was terrifying. I saw the, I'll call it a demon. I saw the demon of addiction for a loved family member. And then from then on, I would try to shut it off. I would go under the blankets. I would try to not see outside because I was remote viewing in the house. And then over time, I think I just had stunted and calcified that vision, which we all have access to, by the way. And then years later, I was working as an esthetician and I owned a spa, and I would be working on people and I would just know things about them. And I would feel deeply. I'd know exactly what they needed, even beyond what they thought they needed. Or I would know what's going on in their life. I mean, I would just know things. And eventually, through my own healing journey, which I had a lot, I mean, most of us go through precipices of change. It's like stepping stones. Once I started getting my Reiki, I became a teacher of Reiki, and then I started working in shamanism, and it was all to heal myself. These visions started coming back. My psychic senses were really open. And then I just realized, wow, how much trauma we collectively experience. And how much we really ignore our emotional selves, and we push that down over time. And then we become adults and have dis-ease, and that is dis-ease of the body. So for me, once I started healing myself, it became very clear that these gifts are here. We're meant to use our gifts. And I found out I'm a reflector in human design last year. And that really also was another journey of exploration. And so that's a whole nother topic, human design. But yeah, so then I just eventually started taking clients. I became an Oracle Master Reader teacher with Denise Lynn. She was one of my first teachers. And then the rest is history, as they say, right?
Yeah. And so, so I took one of your master class about Oracle cards, and it totally got me started. And now every morning I pull a card. I absolutely love it. So for people who are new to Oracle cards, what's the difference between tarot cards and Oracle cards?
Well, tarot cards are based on the major and minor arcana. And so they're the original cards that were created back in the late 1800s in France, actually. The first deck was the Rider-Waite deck, essentially. One of the first decks. So what happened was they were created with meanings. So each card has meaning. So no matter what deck you use, they will have meaning, and I won't go too deep into it, but they all have the same premise, right? So they have the 4 suits, and then they all have the major, the minor, and so on. Oracle cards, on the other hand, are more frivolous and less strategic. You can buy Oracle cards in any shape or form with any topic in the cards. So you can buy cards on angels, cats. You can buy cards on the anatomy of the body. I mean, everything and anything you can think of, unicorns, goddesses. And so I personally am more drawn to the Oracle card decks. That's just felt natural to me. Although I do use tarot as well occasionally, because tarot is old. It's an older card with a lot more energy attachment to it, good and bad, right? Any energy you put into it. And so for me at the beginning, when I started reading, it didn't resonate with the tarot, which is interesting. I resonated with the Oracle.
And, about when something resonates, and when we have to make a decision in this world, we are based on data or, logic, strategy. And what I really like about you, and you talk about intuition, okay? And that's something that I've really tried to also develop myself. Can you tell me more about, how you develop your intuition? How is it linked to the Oracle cards,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, honestly, intuition is a natural sense that we have. It comes natural to us. What doesn't come natural is listening to it, because since birth, we're taught to ignore it and turn it off. I mean, marketing is, when you look at business, marketing sells by fear most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that works, because then we, and so what happens when you're selling fear all the time is you start to believe it. You start to believe in the fear, and you start to give your power to outside sources, which is what we're taught from young children. And in the Western world, I'm not talking about Africa or India, for example. Those places really are much more, or in parts of Asia. So basically coming back to intuition is we have to decondition in the Western world to really tap into it. And oracle cards are one of the best tools to do that, because they will validate your intuition consistently. So you'll tune in, you have a question. Once again, we look outside ourselves naturally. So why not use a deck of cards and not have a physical presence there? Have that presence with just you in the moment. And so it allows you to just tap into your physical body, because that's the number one way to trust your intuition is physically. What are you feeling? What are you sensing? Make the decision in your head and then trust what your body tells you. Your body is your subconscious. Your body is your inner child. It will always tell you. So if you're developing your intuition and you want to be stronger at it, it is really about sitting in silence and tuning into your body. So, I mean, we've always got a million decisions to make a day as moms. You and I are single moms. And then we also have the business side of it. And then we have our friendships, right? So we're making like 10,000 decisions a day. Adulting is fucking hard. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, I get it. Being a kid is hard too. But but the adulting part of it, like deciding what to eat every meal, that's the part I'm kind of over. I like to put an IV on me. I'll just lay here. So when you sit down, like if you're going to use oracle cards, you're going to connect to each card. When you get a new deck, you're going to connect to each card. You're going to understand its meaning. And then over time, that card and those cards become very familiar. So recently I pulled the card of, it's a tarot card, it's the Tower. Mm-hmm. But it was in my Oracle Tarot deck, actually. And I was talking to somebody at the time. And for me, that card represents, in the tarot as well, the crumbling of a foundation or the ending of a relationship. It could mean the death of an old behavior, the death of an old pattern. It can have multiple meanings. And at the time, I was like, oh, interesting. But now a few days go by and I saw it's the death of the relationship I had with that person.
Wow.
So interestingly enough, I mean, I tuned in and whatnot. Some things transpired and I realized like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. The veil has been lifted, as most of us are seeing now in 2022. So more than ever now, we're being called to trust our intuition and stop looking outside of ourselves for fulfillment within ourselves, for decision making, for what's right, and so for those people who are working on their intuition, use cards. Absolutely. They're just one divination tool of many that you can use. And they're fun. You can have fun with it.
I really like what you say about it's like listening to your body and then keeping yourself like in the moments. That's how the card helps you. I want to show you the card I pulled today because I think it's very fun. I mean, it's very interesting.
Okay, let me get it's play. It's exactly. A little corgi.
And I was like, oh my God.
Inner child.
And you are very, I mean, your personality, I feel like you are very playful. You are very you have like a good energy. And I was like, wow. And that's the thing. That's what I've learned is like there is like a message kind of I mean, there is always like a message, something I didn't pay attention or something, very interesting. So today what I'd like you to do, I'm sorry, I have another question before. Your deck of cards that you got, is it also based on intuition? Like you felt that one, you were very curious to attract it to it? And is that how you pick them?
Yeah, I mean, if you are going to go out and buy a deck of cards, you absolutely want to take your time and go to the store and like, look through the decks. Usually they have some on display. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to look at the cards and you're going to think, okay, does this resonate? Do I like the imagery? Do I like the words? You're going to naturally choose the deck that you are meant to have. And I mean, we get gifted decks too. Like people will gift me decks. I will gift decks. Sometimes I'll gift my old decks. There's no right or wrong. There is clearing. There is energy clearing that you do with your decks. There's consecration with a new deck, which is usually written in the deck format. Yeah. So choosing an oracle deck is just a fun shopping experience. And decks aren't for everybody. Some people are like, meh, and like me, have multiple decks, and I just find them fun because they inspire me because of the artwork. They inspire me with the words. They give me just that clarity that I need, or that affirmation, like, yes, you were on the right path. That tower card or that boundary card showed you that person broke their word with you or broke a boundary and you don't know it yet, but I'm a card and I'm here to show you that the boundaries have been broken. So it's like, but you have to be ready to know the ansers too. That's another part of it.
That's a very good point. That's an absolutely good point. Yes, because sometimes my day went through and I look back at the card that I pulled in the morning and I was like, it's like it was like, okay, I had to admit whatever it says on the card to myself. And, I was like, okay, I need to keep my mind open and I have to willing to work with that. So for someone who is new, I'm fairly new with oracle cards. And the way I just like, after your master class, I went to a store. I looked online and then I got my first deck. And I have only one. So for someone who is new to it, so this is also the thing, get into the store, purchase one. And then how do we know that this is time for a second one? Because now I'm with one, I'm like, okay, what do I do next?
I love it. No, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. You just drop it. And it's like going to buy groceries. You're like, okay, I could use another deck.
Okay, awesome.
And sometimes it'll be a vision of the deck you want. Sometimes you'll get a thought of the deck style or the deck theme. Sometimes you'll just be in the store browsing and you're like, ooh, look at this deck. You and me, we're going home. Right? So it's like just let go of all the judgment. That judgment can go out the window. Yeah. I mean, once I got into cards, I collected decks like crazy.
How many do you have?
Okay, you want to see my old lady basket?
Yes, I want to see.
Okay, let me just see. I'm going to put all the, I don't have a lot of room on this desk. Okay,
because so today you're gonna pull a card, but I want to see, like, tell me about, like, for example, like your favorite or.
Okay, you want me to like.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is really funny.
Just a little sample.
So I'll just show you. I put them in a basket for work, right? So this is where because they like to be out in the open. They don't like to be clamped up. It's energy, right? It's moving. Okay. So they don't want to be in a box. However, some people like to keep theirs in a box. So like I said, there's no right. Mine like to be out so I can just grab. And then I have this. This is just like a fun charts of different spreads that I have. And when I teach my Moon Oracle Card Reading Academy, you get all of these layouts.
I see.
As a professional.
Okay.
Whether it's for yourself or friends. Anyway, so let me see. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I got 12 decks right now.
12. Okay. All right.
And I purchased 2 straight from China, but they didn't come as the original. So I won't count these. These are going to go in art pieces. And I just got them from a supplier in China just to see what their quality was like. But I'm going to use them as art because they're so inspiring.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Rather than cards. Favorite. Okay, so I have the deck where it's the no nonsense deck, and that's this one. This is my Psychic Tarot by John Holland. As you can see, it's well loved.
Yes.
This deck has been probably in about 800 card readings.
Wow.
Something like that. It's been through a lot. And I did some mediumship training with John Holland years ago. I did an online course with him. And so that's my no nonsense deck. That's the deck where I'm like, okay, let's get to the meat and the potatoes. Because there's decks that are really fluffy and light for beginners. There's decks that are heavier and more juicy, some that are more educational, some that are witchcrafty, like whatever that is. This is a really nice deck that I got this year, Work Your Light, by Rebecca Campbell.
Can you show me a little bit of the
artwork?
The artwork? Yes, for this one.
Yeah, this one is the artist that Rebecca Campbell has.
Oh, it's very pretty.
Her name is Danielle Noel. I follow her on Instagram. Her artwork is amazing. So if I'm doing like I have animals, because I cover the ethereal realm, which is angels, archangels, unicorns, that's my inner child deck. That's connected to the children. Messages from the animals, that's like a shamanic deck. I've got an affirmation deck. I've got 2 goddess decks because I got a new one last year for my birthday. This one is by Colette Van She's one of my favorite deck creators. She does the goddess. She does them all, but she's got some really beautiful artwork.
Yeah,
and she's amazing. So for me, the one that I'm going to get next is going to be the Lovers deck, because this is the year of partnerships and love. And I'm still always collecting and decluttering and collecting and decluttering, Sometimes over time, I've had them for years and I just feel, okay, we're parting ways. Or I'll get a thought like it's someone's birthday, oh, they need this deck. And then I'll just give them my deck,
Yeah, very, very nice. Thank you so much for all that. Yeah. I mean, especially for me, I'm like totally a beginner. So it's really interesting to see someone like more professional, how you work, what do you have in your basket?
I call myself a deck whore, which sounds really unprofessional, but
that's so funny.
It's like there's nothing wrong with being a whore. I can have all these decks,
Yes.
At the end of the day, you can have whatever you want, There's no right or wrong. Moderation, of course, including moderation.
Before we pull the card, before you pull the card, I want to talk a little bit about your Oracle Cafe, because that's something I attended and I thought it was really, really nice. It's really, to me, it felt like a very safe, intimate space. Gathering of people. We talk about there was a topic, and you also what I really liked is that you research about the topic, you share your knowledge. So it's really we come to learn something, to interact. It was really a really nice experience. Can you tell me about your Oracle Cafe, a little bit more details, maybe?
Sure. Thank you so much for the feedback, because that's exactly what I wanted. Everything you're saying.
Oh, awesome! Perfect.
I would be taught when I was working my last corporate job. I had clients in 44 countries, and it was interesting because I'd be talking to these women having spiritual breakthroughs and awakenings, and they had no one to talk to. They'd be on the phone crying, telling me their psychic experiences and so that's how that came about, actually, the Oracle Cafe, is the realization that women need a place to gather to be authentically aligned to their truth, whatever that truth is. And they want to learn, they want to explore their intuitive gifts, they want to feel supported. and they want to be able to just come as they are. And so that's exactly my point of that. So that's where the cafe came from, was out of this love for community, this love for women in general to come together and support one another. And I love learning. So for me, it's just wonderful because I get to learn new topics every week and share and I mean, each week is so different, I have to say, Stephanie. It just depends who comes live because they get the replay. So basically, the Oracle Cafe is an online space where you just show up like you're in a cafe. You can come, braless in your pajamas, just wear a shirt and be yourself and pipe in and share what you see or share what you know, or support the person in the group because sometimes they're having a bad day, or you just come and laugh for an hour because sometimes it's hilarious. Like we laugh a lot. It's so fun. And we need more of that, I think, and that in the world that we're living in today. So yeah, actually at 6:30 tonight, guess what we're talking about? Orgasms. Woo! I've got a guest speaker coming in tonight talking about the 15 types of orgasms women can have. Like who knew?
Yeah.
15? Wow, I can't wait to find that out.
So cool.
Yeah, so it's like no topic is too taboo in this space. And so it's a weekly 1 hour gathering, and we alternate times, and it's you become a member of the community essentially.
Wonderful. Super. All right, should we pull a card now?
You're like, should we pull a card? You didn't mean to say no, you meant to say we. That's what you meant to say. We. Yeah. We. All right, so let's pull from, I feel like a goddess card since we're talking femme empowerment.
Yeah. I was curious about this one, so I'm glad you picked this one.
The Goddess Power Oracle. This is by Colette Farron Reed. So my sister bought me this for my birthday in August. Can't believe I've been 45 for this long already. Okay, here we go. I can tell. I don't mind sharing my age. Okay, so this card is whoever's listening, watching the replay, this card's for you, no matter what time, date, or year it is. Whenever cards come up, they're for all of us. There's always a message in it for myself as well, as the person I am reading for. So this will be a collective podcast card. And if you're a man, you have an inner goddess and an inner god. So don't think just because you're a man.
I totally agree. We have like a feminine and masculine parts inside us, whether we are like a man or female. Yeah, that's
right. So I got Mama Kilia, the moon. And so this goddess is the goddess of the moon. And guess what today is?
It's a full moon in Leo.
It's full moon for you, full moon for me tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, okay. Also, it's like perfect. It's like in between. Yes. Wow, nice.
Yes. And the cards never lie, to be honest with you. They never lie to us. They always tell us. Some people are like, oh, that card's bullshit, or that doesn't make any sense. Well, what are you not wanting to see, hear, or face, right? Like you said. Okay, so this was an alignment message. So this one came up upside down. And with Colette's deck, it means that there's a lesson in the upside down, as there is in the right side up. Some people, when they read, they're like, no, I read them both. And I'm like, yeah, because it's the shadow and the light. So I'll read just the upside down, and then we can look at the light if we want.
Sure.
Because there's an alignment message. And I don't know about you, but it's the full moon, and there's a lot going on. Full moons, it means that the tides are high, and we're made of water. So the tides are high within us emotionally. Emotions are high right now. Sometimes you feel out of sync with life, frustrated that the universe isn't providing you with what you desire. Do you want what you want? Exactly how and when you want it, and feel like the great goddess is ignoring you. You may be wanting something to happen faster than it's meant to occur. Remember, the conditions of your life are temporal and ever-changing. Maybe you've just been unaware of the cycle you're in, and so you've been missing the signals. The moon goddess Mama Kila knows the cycles intimately, and she'll let you know when it's time for the next phase. She is always on track with the cycles of creation, and you must trust this wisdom. Her alignment task for you is to recognize and work with the natural cycle you're in. You will be amazed as alignment with the rhythm of the universe allows you to once again co-create consciously and surrender to life on its own terms. What a beautiful dance when Mama Kila offers you her support. And so when you know a deck really well, you don't have to read about it, but I have to say this is about forcing situations or being worried things aren't going to happen. So you force it or try to manipulate things so that it goes a certain way. That's the message I'm getting from this card, from her. And then it's the moon. I mean, we're in the full moon. The emotions are high. And depending as a woman where you are in your cycle, keeping an eye on that. Like, we have seasons in our life and we have seasons in our month. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm in the winter season. And so I have to honor that. I'm going to be a little slower. I'm going to have to take my time more, and then you'll know it when, like, for me, the seasonal summer is late, like early summer, late summer is like where I'm the most hyped and get the most energy. And I could be because I'm born in late summer. I'm not sure. And my name means late summer, which is kind of funny. I should live somewhere that's summer, never winter. But anyway, so that's the card. It's really just saying, stop forcing things, really trust the ebb and flow of life. And we're in the year of water, right? We're in the year of the tiger. Yeah. So we have to roll with the punches and roll with the water and, but not absorb everything. Let it roll off of us and not absorb it, Yeah.
That's a beautiful card. Thank you so much. That's great. Yeah. And even for me, I'm like, I know what it means, like on my side, like personally. So that's a very nice card. Me
too, actually. Yes.
All of us, maybe.
We'll share notes after we stop recording.
Yeah. Something that's also like, across my mind, because I know that's often like, with practitioners, they see clients and they get like a lot of questions with clients. Is there something that's people about the oracle cards often ask, like something that, like for, like about, I don't know, it can be like anything. Is it like a question that people are really curious about when you say that you work with the cards? I don't know if I'm clear.
Is there one predominant question?
That comes back often.
It's predominant topics. It's love, money, and health. So those are the three main pillars to card reading. Okay. And business too, right? Like those are the main things. So, I mean, people come to me when they're usually in need of a major transformation, or they really need to make a decision, or they're launching something, or they, you know what I'm saying? So there's a transitional period.
I see.
And that could be because they're excited to start something or ready to let something go. But yeah, every time I do a card reading for people, it's usually those topics are around that.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
And they always want to know their future. Everyone wants to know their future, no matter what, like when, where, and it's like, well, actually, this is the power of a card reader. Whatever I put in your mind, you're going to believe is true, even if you subconsciously, even if on the conscious spectrum you believe it's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? So it's a fine line, because I could see your potential future, but it could change. So that's the funny thing, is whenever we always associate card readers or psychics as future tellers. Yes, I have a friend who's a prophet. He can see right into your future, where your 10, 100,000 K is. And then we have psychics who can see other things. So yes, sometimes I do see the future, but I generally am not the future teller because that's not my specialty. But I can tell you exactly what you need. I can tell you exactly what happened in the past that we have to clear and let go of, because you have to let go of things you're holding on to create the future you want. Whether it's a relationship, usually it's relationship stuff, inner child, parental, past lives show. Like I just did a retreat and all of the people went on a past life regression. And it was interesting how many of them saw their ex-lover or a partner or a child in this lifetime, because we travel together.
Absolutely. You know, it's very interesting because you are saying like, and as human, I don't know, we tend to, we want to be secure. So we want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. And, you know, going back to what you were saying at the beginning of our conversation about staying in the moment. So the importance of like using, you know, like the cards every day that help you to be in the moment, follow your intuition. And I'm going to say like being like less worried about like, okay, what's going to come next? Tell me about this, tell me about that. You know what I mean? That's very interesting. I think the parallel.
Yeah, that is a good parallel to make, because you have to be in the moment to tune in to get the card for that moment.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, but then the shadow side of that is some people get really dependent on the cards. To tell them everything.
Yes, I've heard about it. Yes.
They'll even turn into the card. You know, I've heard stories of people really going right off the deep end and like embodying that card. And so like I said, it's moderation. It's like trusting yourself, not using the cards as a crutch. And yeah, I mean, we're human nature. We want to know the future. Damn rights we want to know. Because we never want to be in the present moment. We're either living in the past or the future, most of us. So it's kind of interesting how it brings you back to the moment in the card reading.
Yeah, fascinating. Thank you. Before we end our conversation for today, there is one more thing I want to know, and I'm quite curious. I'd like to know about your daily practice, and it's not related to the oracle cards, but I want to, know, for example, it can be like a daily routine for you, where you really take time to tune in, or whatever your intention. But can you share with us like what you do?
I don't have a daily routine, honestly.
And that's your routine.
I just go day by day. Yeah. Like, you know what? I realized that I need to sample every day. I need to try things out. I need to have change all the time. That's just me, how I'm designed.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because I was asked a question recently. And I just said, you know what? It's every morning intuitively what I'm guided to do, because I work from home and I have that flexibility. So like some mornings I'm doing booty yoga. I'm listening to the techno and having the hot babe in her tights doing the thing with her bum and stuff. And then I'm trying to do it and getting in shape. And then other mornings I'm just having tea and walking the dog. But I always do incorporate my spirituality in my life. It's just not in a routine. So I will sit down and journal and I'll pull cards. I find when I'm in a pickle or I've been through something emotional, that's when I really go within and I retreat from the outside world and I meditate a lot. I'll meditate a lot. I'll communicate with my guides. I'll go to my future self. I'll talk to the fairies or whoever shows up to help me at the time, because that's when I need it the most. And I notice when life's going great and I have no drama, I don't sit down and meditate as much, but I still am exercising. I'm still going out for walks in nature. I still eat healthy. I mean, sometimes I have peanut butter toast for dinner, but for the most part, so I daily live it in a way that makes sense.
I absolutely love your answer. And I think it totally suits whatever you are. We're saying about intuition. So your routine is kind of like follow your intuition. I totally love it. It's perfect. Yeah, it's really really interesting, nice. Not the answer that I was expecting, but I love it.
Like yesterday morning, I went snowboarding, right? And then this morning, I journaled and I pulled cards and I meditated. So, and tomorrow morning, I don't know, maybe booty yoga because I haven't done it all week. You know, gotta keep the body healthy. I think like, you know, some people are designed for daily routine. They need it. They absolutely need it to be healthy. They need to have it laid out so they know what they're doing. They know, and that's my a friend of mine. She needs to have that. But my design, the way I'm built, I have to sample different things every day. I get really bored very easily from mundane, everyday life. So I look forward to traveling again in the near future. Maybe I'll be visiting you.
All of us.
Like,
exactly. Part of my routine. I'm here.
Yes, exactly. You get it. You got it.
Thank you so much for your time. It was such a pleasure and it was lots of fun, like my crowd say.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me.
You can learn more about Therese and her Oracle Cafe on Facebook and Instagram at Psychic Therese. I also invite you to visit www.theresenadeau.com. All the links are listed below in the comment section on YouTube. Thank you to all our listeners and see you very soon for more on healing, self-love, and your personal journey.
Thank you for listening and for taking time for yourself. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our podcast, share this episode with others on social media, or leave a rating and a review. To catch the latest from Ujjwati, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Ujjwati. Thanks again and see you on the next episode.